Good morning. I'm Ken Roberts from Absolute Precision Plumbing, Heating and Cooling Inc. and today we're in Lynnfield, Mass. And today the project at hand is going to be taking out this on-demand water heater slash heating system, and we're going to be changing it over to a 95% US boiler Alpine. The reason we're taking this out is it's only 3 years old and this is a very efficient system, but the problem is the size of this house and the size of the family here, this can't keep up with the demand for hot water. So we're going to be taking this out and putting a new boiler in, and we're going to be giving him an indirect fired 60-gallon Superstore, so he'll have plenty of hot water. The houses here in Lynnfield are, pretty good size, so something like this is okay in a smaller house, but it's just not cutting it for this demand here. So even though it's only 3 years old, it's coming up. So stay tuned and you'll see what it looks like when we're all done. Good morning, I'm Ken from Absolute Precision Plumbing, Heating and Cooling Inc. And we're back here in Lynnfield on the job that we were just talking to you about the other day. And it's all done now, we just got our inspection. So I just wanted to go over a couple of things and show you what we do when we install one of these 95% efficient Alpine boilers. These boilers here are 95% efficient, they're great. And as I told you earlier, this client here in Lynnfield was pretty disappointed with the previous system that he had. And a couple of the problems that he had, aside from the actual, the actual boiler itself, it wasn't sized correctly. And size is a very important thing when you put these in. A lot of people undersize them by accident because they don't know what they're doing, and that's a bad thing. And a lot of mechanics also oversize, which also is a bad thing. And the reason it's a bad thing is because this boiler is designed, and most of these high efficient boilers are designed to run longer because there's only a gallon of water in the boiler. It's designed to run longer. So if you oversize this and it comes on and off, on and off, on and off, short cycling, the limit controls in there wear out sooner, the blower motor wears out sooner. Those kind of things add up to be costly repair items. So you want to have it sized properly. So when we do a boiler, make sure it's sized properly, check the house to see whether or not there's been any additions done, whether they're thinking about doing future additions, in which case we would size it up from there, and take a load of the house. A lot of times guys will go in and look at the boiler and say, okay, this is a 200,000 BTU boiler and that's what they put in. They don't even know if that's the right one without checking it. And that's a key element in fuel efficiency savings. So this boiler here right now is set up for propane. That's what the homeowner has, but Lynnfield's been pretty prevalent with running natural gas throughout the town. So he's already got the gas line out there. So in the next week or two, we're going to make the conversion back to natural gas, and it's a pretty easy thing to do with the Alpine. All you have to do is turn a screw and it goes from Alpine to natural gas. A lot of boilers you have to change the orifices and the regulators and other things. With this guy here, it's a piece of cake. So a lot of things that we do that other mechanics don't do, it's mandatory by law to have a low water cutoff on the boiler. A lot of plumbers don't put them on. This boiler, because it hangs off the wall, if you have a piece of baseboard in the basement, it obviously would be below this point. If that sprung a leak, all the water in the boiler could drain out, and then you'd have an explosion issue. So once the water level drops below this point, it shuts the boiler off. So that's a safety feature that, like I said, it's mandated by law. It's supposed to be on every boiler, but I can probably count on the times on one hand that I've actually seen them installed, so it needs to be there. We tag everything on the boiler so the homeowner, if there's an issue, he can come down, he can shut something off. He knows what goes where. So if there's a problem on the phone, he can tell our technician, this is what I did, this is what's leaking, if there's a problem with something like that. We've got the condensate pump. In this particular case, it goes right into the ground, into the sump pump, so there's no acid neutralizer required. If it goes into the groundwater, the code says that's fine. If it was into the sanitary sewer system, you'd have to put an acid neutralizer on it. Otherwise, you'd have some problems with the caustic acid in the wastewater coming out of the boiler, rotting out your drainage system. Carbon monoxide detector, we put those on every job. A lot of plumbers don't, and that is something that you need. So this guy here now has a 95% efficient US boiler made in America, 64-gallon tank of indirect fired hot water. Another satisfied Lynnfield customer from Absolute Precision Plumbing, Heating and Cooling Inc.